I've been using an easy AI system that's growing my LinkedIn audience and engaging ready-to-buy leads every day. Here's how it works. It maps my expertise with Poppy AI, it scans daily trends and news, it matches hot topics to what I know, it drafts posts using the context with proven templates, I approve it, it publishes it with an image, and this process helps me consistently create engaging content that's helping me grow my audience and get me new leads every day. Here's how you can set it up for yourself, step by step. Okay, so let me show you guys how to build this. And before we start building this, what we always got to do is start planning it out. Okay, so I have Excalibur up, so let's try to see what we want to do, right? Okay, so first, what do we have in our plan? We want basically automated, let me zoom out a bit, LinkedIn content based on our expertise. Cool, okay. Because we want this, and I want to give you some tips. Normally, written platforms are always about three things, right? Consistency, familiarity, and expertise. So let me write that down. We want to make sure our system gets us all this. Consistency, familiarity. Okay. Because we know we need all of these stuff, what do we kind of need in our system so that we can start get all of these, right? Okay. So first, because we want familiarity and expertise, we need a personal knowledge bank, right? Then we need familiarity. That means we should maintain our topics. So we need a topic bank. Then, just because we don't want our AI going off the rails and we want viral templates, we want post templates. So some templates for our AI to follow, so we know these have gone viral in the past, so we keep producing good quality content, right? Then we also need a way to find fresh information, because we don't want our post going stale. And then I guess we need just a table to view it. Okay, so we know what we kind of need. Now, what should we use for this stuff, right? Okay, so for the personal knowledge bank, I've been using this thing pretty often and I like it a lot. So I'm going to use Poppy AI for the personal knowledge bank, I think. And for the fresh information, I'm going to be using Exa. And the table, I'm going to be using NoCodeDB. And AI, the model, we can just use OpenAI, but I'll just leave it here, all right? Okay. So we know our tech stack right now. Now what we need to do is think about how we can structure this automation out. And how can we do that, right? So let me think about it. Okay, so first, I would imagine we need to get our personal information, right? We need to collect a pool of our personal information. Info and the templates, let's say. And that should be a good enough start. So when we're building the automation, this is what it should look like. Let's make this smaller. Okay, first we want to make sure let's say every day we want to generate a couple. So first we want to get a topic we know about. Then we need to make sure we understand what info we know about that topic. So we want to get info we know about the topic. Okay. Then let's say we want to make sure our posts are fresh. So we want fresh information about the topic. Let's see. Then we need to pick a template and write the posts with all of this combined. Okay. Pick a template and write a post with all the context. So this is the basic outline of the workflow that we're going to be using. And this is going to help us kind of go through and make sure that we are doing what we need to and kind of keeps us on track. All right. Okay. So first, let's say we want to collect a pool of our personal information. Let me show you how to do that. Okay, so to pool our personal information, let's use something like Poppy AI, right? Okay, in Poppy, I'm going to be using a board I made a while back, and I can show you this to you. But why I like using this is because I can dump in a lot of documents that I know that I have a lot of information on, a lot of text, and all my YouTube videos. This way, this chatbot basically understands and knows me really well. And from there, it becomes my personal knowledge bank. And then with this APIs feature, I can use that to get information about me, about any topic that I know, right? So this makes it very visual and very easy. And then I want to know what topics I want, right? So here, let's just do this. Because this already knows everything about me, I can be like, based on what you know about me, can you make a list of 10 topics that I am an expert to talk about? What just happened? Okay, yeah, my whisper flow was bugging out, but here. Okay. Wow, okay, so this is a list of 10 really good topics because it literally sourced everything from what I know, and it's gonna make creating posts and content a lot easier now, right? So what can I do? Now I would just say maybe I can make a CSV based off this and then put it in my table, and then we can start collecting all this information from my table. So let's do that. All right, so we have all this down. Now let's go to NoCodeDB and then make a small little table of this. All right, so here I'll start from the very scratch. So I just go to NoCodeDB, and the only reason I use this is because it's free on everything. So let's go to app. It's very easy to sign up. And then just so I don't confuse you guys, I'm going to create a new base. So let me just find this new one. Okay, so I'm going to create a brand new table, and let's call that topics. All right. And then from here, let's call it topic, and let's say description. Long text, say field. All right, cool. So from what Poppy gave me, let's copy this over from here to here. Give me 2, comma, topics and for description. This is just an easy way I'm trying to show you guys right now. Boom. Okay, so let's go back to the content. Okay, so let me just fill this in and I'll get back to you guys. Okay guys, real quick. So all I did was I asked it to make me a CSV. I saved it, and right here, I just uploaded that. So it becomes really simple on how we can do that. So let me delete this record. All right. So now we have a list of topics and the descriptions of those topics. Cool. That's the first thing we need to do. What's next? Okay, so what we want is ideally to run this on a schedule, right? So we run, let's say, okay, midnight. We'll just run it every day at midnight. And now what we want to do is, let's say, just select a random topic from the database, right? Okay, so I'm going to select a NoCodeDB, and n8n, they already have a node. And then let's say we got all the rows because this works better. So we'll do get many rows, and then how you authenticate is you just add in your token here, and it should be pretty simple. And then from here, you can select all the bases. So I think I created it right here. Topics, create. So test. Okay, here we have we're getting all our topics and the descriptions. Cool. Now from this, ideally we want to select a random topic, right? So for this, I'm gonna just insert some code, which is the easiest way to do it. And what you can do is you can just go to ChatGPT and ask it to give you some code, or download the template. But here, I like using Python a lot more. But what we're doing is just importing a random dictionary, and then getting all the items from these are all the items, getting the count, and then returning a random item number. All right. So if we do that, we can just get a random topic. So every day we can find a new topic to talk about, right? Rather than it being monotonous, we'll get a random one. So it's a bit more fresh. Okay, cool. Now what we want to do is we want to gather context about the topic we have just gotten, right? And what we want to do is we want to use Poppy for that. So right here, let's go to HTTP request. So this is how we get personal context from Poppy, right? So what we want to do is we want to hit their API. So let's copy their API right here, where you can get it, the conversation, right? Let's use the get method, and then we'll come here, we'll paste this URL right here. Okay, cool. Then what we want to do is we want to get the board. So in the query params, we want to come here, and then let's say the board ID. So we're going to put the board ID. We come here. Where is the board ID? Right here. So I'm going to copy this. Cool. Okay, board ID right there. And then we want to get the chat ID. Chat ID right here. Boom. Boom. Cool. Then we want to pick the model. So what model do they have? Okay. I'm just going to use 3.7 because I know it's a little cheaper and it works better. So I'm just going to paste that in. Okay. And then all I'm going to do is paste the API key here. And where you get that is if you go here, the API key should be here. You copy it and then you paste it here, and then boom, you'll have what you need. All right, so I'm going to paste that in a little later, but what we also want to do is we want to pass in the prompt. Okay, so let's see, what can we write? So for the prompt, it should be an expression, and let's make this bigger. And we know we want to put this right here, and we want to put this right here. Okay, because this is the context we're getting, and then we can just be like, based on the topic and description, return all my personal knowledge based on yeah, that should be it. Nothing crazy. And let me run it and show you guys. So just to blur out my API key right here. Okay guys, so I just executed this node, and we'll see we got the entire my context of what I know about that exact thing, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to take this information, put it in our prompt, and then use that as some personal context to create the next step. All right, so let's get to that. Okay, now that we have all our personal context, and we also have all like a random topic we're going to be talking about, now what we want to do is we want to find a fresh spin on this topic, right? And some information about this. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this tool called Exa. And here in Exa, you can just go here, you can sign up, and then the API dashboard, if you go to answers, so let's say we're going to go into our old node and find this. Okay, so this is just a random topic the cool thing about Exa is, let's say I'm going to copy this description and topic. And right here, find me the latest on the below. And I like using the Pro model. They're both incredibly cheap, so I would suggest it. And then right here, all I would need to do is run, and let's test it out, right? Okay, let me just pause it. Okay, so we got the information back, but now it's kind of telling us cool new AI tools that we can like interact with. And this is going to be really useful for our app, right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to curl, and then we're going to hit copy. Then we go to right here. Let's make a new node, HTTP, boom. We're going to import the curl, paste it right here. Okay, all of this stuff is good to go. And what we want to know is just right here, we come here, and then we want to enter our expression and the right things to talk about. Okay, right here, what can we insert, right? We can put in the code, we can put in the topic on the topic. And right here, let's put in the description. Okay, cool. All right, we got that all set. Now let's test this out. Okay, so it just responded back. So we see they're giving us a bunch of cool stuff, and it's also giving us a bunch of other URLs and citations we can be using, right? So I'm just gonna, just for curiosity's sake. Interesting. So there's some new tools there that we can potentially check out. All right. So we have personal context. We have the fresh information. Now, what we want to do is we want to make sure we have a bank of templates. So let's do the same thing right here, but for templates, right? Let me just give you guys some templates, and this have been known to work. I'll leave it in the description below, so you can just take that. And right here, I'll make a new table. Let's call it, not grid view, whoops, templates. And I'm gonna fill in a bunch of these templates, and I'll get back to you. Okay, so I just curated some templates for you guys. I know these ones are pretty good. So now we have a table of templates that we're gonna be using to hopefully make our scripts base off, right? So let's go back here and let's try to get all these templates, right? So same thing, no code DB, get many rows, right? And then what we want to do is get many workspace name. The YouTube viewers is for you guys, and let's get these templates. Cool. Great, so we have these templates now, and we tested it and it makes sense. And I'm going to copy this node, I'm going to paste it, put it back here, boom, boom, and let's see if this actually works. Okay, cool. So this gives me a template already. All right, so we have a bunch of almost everything we need. Now, all we need to do is pretty much use all this context to create a new LinkedIn post that works pretty well, right? So let's go to OpenAI. We're gonna go to message model, and right here, we are gonna be inserting all that context, right? So I'm gonna connect my account, and let's use 4.1. It's known to be pretty good. Okay, cool. So and I'm gonna give you guys a post right here as a prompt right here as well, right? So the goal is to use this context provider to write a script based on the template. Cool. Template. And let's make it this easier, and let's make this bigger. Okay, so this is the template and context. So right here we have the topic. Let me just call it topic. So I'm going to put in the topic right here. I'm going to put in the description right here. Then I'm going to put in personal context. Okay, which is the next one. And oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry. What we want to do is we want to get all of this stuff. Okay, so now we have the personal context, and now we want to enter the fresh information. Right? Okay, so that's this one. And right here, and what we're going to do is also put in, that should be all we need. And then let's say use all the personal context, fresh information. Okay. Yeah. So right now we're just keeping this easy, and then we'll improve the prompts, and I'll give you guys the templates for that as well. But right here, let me execute this node and let's try it out. Okay, so it just gave me this thing. I just realized I don't want this. Certainly, all that stuff. Only return the post. Okay, so we see this right here. I've helped businesses a year ago building AI agents for phone calls. Okay, this looks pretty decent. So right here now, let's say we want to make sure we have a place to approve and see all this stuff, right? So right here, let's go here and then make a new table for LinkedIn. LinkedIn posts. Okay, great. Now, for the title, what should we put? Let's put, actually you want the script to be the first thing, right? Post. And let's make this a long text. Cool. Update. And all we need to do, one more thing I need to do is add a status, which is a select right here. So single select, and let's say, we're gonna say maybe, if we like it, we approve it, and then we publish. Okay. All right, so we have all that. Now attachment, and if we ever want to make a picture, we can save it to this attachment right here. Okay, cool. So we have this, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a view, and we're gonna say Kanban view by status. Okay, cool. So now we have like this cool little card view that we can go around and do. Okay, so I want whenever a new post is generated to generate it right here. Okay, so let's go to NoCodeDB and create a row this time. Let's select our workspace. YouTube viewers. LinkedIn posts. Okay, cool. Right here. So what did we call it again? We called it post status picture. Post. We're gonna put the field value here. Boom. Right here. And the status doesn't need to do anything. Let's test this out. So okay. So this should have posted it right here. So let's go back. Reload. Okay, so we see something right there. Let's go to the Kanban board. Boom. Okay, so let's read this. I've helped businesses turn missed phone calls into automated revenue, generating conversations. A year ago, building AI agents for phone calls sounded futuristic, but now it's a competitive necessity. Okay, it's not bad. Maybe there's some stuff we need to do, but overall, it gave us a good base. But you can see here what changed. It's even giving us new agents that we can check out. So that's not bad. And exactly how to do it. And it's following a template, and we can keep executing this over and over. All right. Okay. So now that we have that, one thing I really like doing is whenever I approve it, I want to make sure there is an image generated. So let's try to go for that. Okay. So now we have this whole workflow saved. Let's call this okay. Great. So now we can just repeat this as many times as we want for many different templates and contexts, and that's just going to be a loop. So feel free to play with that as you wish. But what I would like to do now is when this is approved, I want an image generated. And to do that, let's make a completely new workflow just because it's a lot better to stay organized that way. Okay, create workflow. Boom. Let's call this image gen. Okay, great. So for that, what do we need to do? So we need to know whenever something happens in that table, right? How do we do that? So right here, if we go here, we go to details, and then we go to webhook. Let's create a new webhook, okay? So on approve, cool. So record insert, no. When a record is updated, we want something to happen. And what is that? So let's get this and then listen for events. So I'll copy this right here. Boom, boom. Okay. So let's test this webhook. So what's going on right here? So let's debug this. What did I forget? Okay, let me just create it first. Post. Oh, okay, I know. I want to get, but it's giving me a post. So let me stop listening, change this to post. Let me also give this a name. This is kind of not nice. So post approved. So let's listen for test events and then copy this thing right here. Take this right here and then let's test it right now. Boom. Okay, that works. And we get all this data. Great. Okay. Now we will know we can trigger this on approvals. So let's add a filter where if this post, nope, not this post. If the status is approved, that's when we do it. Right? So let's start listening again. And hit test. Okay, this is working. And let's create the webhook. Okay, great. Now we have that. Oh, why is that not? Okay. So now whenever this thing gets approved, we will know. So how do we do that? Okay. So let's just test it once more. So we're testing this. It's listening for the event. Now I want to drag it right here, and I want to get all this data like the script. Okay. So something's up. We can go here and look at the logs. Oh, that's why. It's on record insert. So we got to change that. Great. So let's change that. I'm going to just redo all of this stuff. Hopefully it didn't change. Okay, cool. It's still listening. And now if I drag it right here, there we go. Okay, awesome. We can have all of this stuff. Okay. Now that we have that, let's make an image based off that, right? How do we do that? Okay, so now we want an image for this, right? I'm actually just gonna put this back because we're gonna use this for a test. So if we want an image for this, first we need an image prompt. So let's make the image prompt first. So OpenAI, let's message a model right here. Model 4.1. Where's 4.1? Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. And I have this prompt right here just so it makes it easier for you guys. I'll share it with you guys right below, but this kind of just has my styling and everything. It's all good. And right here, what we want to do is we want to get this post data. Okay, right here, boom, boom. That should be good. And let's see if we can get the prompt. Okay, all right, so it has given me the prompt. Now what I will do is generate the image, and that's pretty easy as well. So generate the image, OpenAI, it literally says generate an image, and we go into GPT image 1. This one's much better. Let me use my account, and right here, let me just take this, put it here, and that should be good to go. I'm trying to wonder if there's anything else I want. Maybe I want to make sure the quality is, let's say it's high, and the resolution is the long one. So I'm going to select 1020 by 1536, and then let's test step. Okay, so finally this thing loaded, and let's view it. Cool. Okay, this looks pretty good. All right, now let's put this in our database then. So no codedb, boom, update a row now. So which row do we update, right? So let's pick our database, boom, boom, LinkedIn posts. And how do we find this? So let's go to the webhook right here. And what do we get in our webhook? Let's see if there's, okay, fantastic. So there's an ID, and we can just insert this ID. We should be good to go. Great. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to make sure a picture. And I think, how can we put this in? Because that is binary data. So maybe we just attach a binary file, and that's just, what are we calling this image? We're calling this image file type image, and the file name is data, right? So data, and let's test it again. Okay, so this is showing that it's gone there. Let's go back to our database and see if we got it. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so this is pretty good. Now we have an image and all of this stuff, and we can just publish it whenever we want. Great. So let's test the whole workflow from scratch. So LinkedIn image gen. Let me go back to the old workflow. Okay, so let me run this whole thing. So let's hit test workflow. Boom, boom. Now, this is probably the thing that's going to take the most time because it's getting your personal data from Poppy right here. But apart from that, we should be good to go. Okay, this is completed. Let's see what topic it picked. Okay, cool. All right. So now we should ideally see a post here. Let me reload this. Okay, cool. So there's a new post right here. Let's go in. My post successful. Oh yeah. Yeah, so this is pretty accurate at actually using my personal context. It's pretty good. So let's say I like this. Now I want to make sure this is running. So let me just test this workflow. Yeah, so it's waiting for me to call the API. Boom. So if I make sure if I post this to approve, it should activate. Oh, yeah. So it's been activated already. When I did that, it made a new prompt. And now it's generating an image, which takes a little bit. Okay, so it should be good. That's what it's saying. So let's go look at our database and let's reload this thing. Okay, great. Let me just look at this image. Wow, map workflow, connect the dots with nodes, set triggers, monitor results. Yeah, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. So now we can just publish this very easily. And now what I want to take you guys through is, this is the basis of the system. So I wanted to help you guys set your foundation. And now that you know how this whole automation works, let's make this bigger and put it on autopilot, and I'll take you through a system overview of that. Okay, so I just wanted to show you the system I use, which is pretty much the same. I'll leave the templates for this down below as well. But what it does is the same thing. It gets my topics, it feeds it personal context, then it finds an interesting spin. It returns 5 templates. This is the only difference because I want to be approving a bunch or looking through a lot of options and approve each one. And from there, it does the exact same thing we just learned, right? So let me show you my board. So I've been using this for a while. So it's actually, I've been doing a bunch of this stuff. And right now, every day I approve a bunch of stuff. And then if it's approved, then I will post it with the image. And yeah, so that's been growing my LinkedIn pretty well. I suggest now this is a good time to actually level up your content. So this removes a bunch of friction. So if you actually want to learn how to even sell this system, then check out this video right here. I also will have a bunch more where we're automating the same stuff like reels, newsletters, etc. So stick around for that.